Right now, former President Trump rallies in Madison, Wisconsin. The topics he addressed at today's rally and his plans for the future. Also, Whitewater gymnast murder suspect was back in court, the charges he faces and what's next in the court proceedings. And finally, the Thirsty Troll Brewfest relocated to Tyrrell Basin. Check out some of the new changes that brought in the same old entire fun. That's all coming up on News 3 Now at 10. Good evening and thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Jalen Banks. It was another cool evening, and how long will this weather last? Let's get a look at your first one forecast. With meteorologist Blaze Keller, who's out on the weather patio. Blaze, you didn't need to bring a jacket, did you?
No, I did. It is a little chilly out here, a little shock to my system at least, but we are not as cold or will be as cold as where we started out this morning, but it was a beautiful day. Plenty of sunshine, a lot of people outside, a lot of animals outside as well, including this little turtle. Obviously, reptiles have to soak up the sun to warm their blood, so that's what this little guy did, a spiny, soft-shelled turtle. If you've got any photos, weather or animal related, head on over to our website. You can submit them there. We're going to hang out in the 40s tonight. A little bit cooler, actually, the further south you live, because that pocket of cold air at the heart of our latest high-pressure system is actually following it. As it moves south, so does that pocket of cold air. You can see what I'm talking about. Earlier this morning, Black River Falls, we slipped below freezing. Camp Douglas, south into Boscobel, Mineral Point, we were in those upper 30s along with Watoma. That's that pocket of colder air that's now going to be more towards the Janesville area or northern Illinois. So as that continues to push its way south, it's going to eventually warm on up here. But take a look at those current temperatures across the area. Still at 50 in Madison, though it feels a lot cooler out here. 43 in Lake Geneva, 47 in Columbus. So clear to mostly clear conditions, and we are going to continue to remain quiet this evening and through a lot of next week. But that area circled there doesn't look like a whole lot, but that could be our next rainmaker. We're going to talk about what has to happen and what happens if we don't see this rain coming up in just a few minutes. All right, Blaze, we'll see you then. Former President Donald Trump was in Madison today. It's his 5th trip to the Badger State so far this year. Our Ellie La Liberté was at the rally today and joins us with what Trump addressed.
Crowd here very excited to hear Donald Trump speak today, but the common theme was to try to get Wisconsinites out to the polls. With less than 60 days to the election, the campaign is trying to win over the undecided voters here in Wisconsin.
We want Trump! We want Trump!
Donald Trump's rally in Wisconsin focused heavily on the economy and immigration.
Together we will deliver low taxes, low regulations, low energy costs, low interest rates, and low inflation, so that everyone can afford groceries, a car, and a home. We will stop the invasion, end migrant crime.
He also touched on abortion and transgender issues.
Keep critical race theory and transgender insanity the hell out of our schools.
Falsely claiming children are getting gender-affirming surgical operations in school. But a common theme throughout was an attack on the other side of the ticket, a message seen on the signs throughout the event.
They're radical left Marxists, and that's what she is. And
calling Biden, Harris, and Walz corrupt.
We're going to cast out the corrupt political class. We're going to restore our republic, and we are going to drain the swamp.
Joining Trump on the stage, Republican Senate candidate Eric Hovde. He used that moment to rally support for his campaign against current Senator Tammy Baldwin.
Are you ready to save the American dream? Let's go get them!
Donald Trump also went on a tangent addressing Friday's decision to delay his criminal sentencing in the case of falsifying business records until after the November election, saying it was wrong in the first place.
I've been indicted more than Alphonse Capone. I say it all the time. He's sort of the ultimate, you know, he's the ultimate criminal. I got indicted more than him. My parents are up there. They're great people. They're looking down on me right now. I can't believe this has happened to my son.
The former president finished speaking by calling for Wisconsinites to vote in November. Donald Trump also mentioned his upcoming debate against Kamala Harris, saying he is confident going into it. Reporting in Madison, Ellie La Liberté, News 3 Now.
Ellie, thank you. Notably, the former president did not address Wednesday's school shooting in Georgia that left 4 dead. Also on the campaign trail is Vice President Harris. The Democratic presidential nominee is in Pittsburgh this weekend, making the rounds and visiting local shops as she preps for her presidential debate with former President Trump on Tuesday. Friday, Harris received an eye-popping endorsement from the other side of the aisle from the Cheney family.
Them stepping up to make this public statement, I think, is courageous, but also for people like the folks I was just talking with, it really reinforces for them that we love our country and we have more in common than what separates us.
Vice President Harris and former President Trump will have their first presidential debate Tuesday at 8 p.m. Central in Philadelphia on ABC. We'll have a recap of the debate on News 3 Now at 10 later that evening. Madison police say one person is injured following an incident last night that involved an officer firing their weapon. This happened about 20 minutes before 11 last night on the 400 block of West Gilman Street. MPD says officers confronted a person with a firearm and shots were fired by Madison police. They say no one was hit by gunfire. A firearm, however, was recovered and one person was taken to the Dane County Jail. An uninvolved person sustained minor injuries during this incident, likely from broken glass. Dane County Sheriff's Office is currently investigating. The suspect in the murder of UW-Whitewater gymnast was back in court today. 23-year-old Chad Richards is charged with first-degree intentional homicide and the use of a dangerous weapon. According to a criminal complaint, the victim, Kara Welsh, was shot 8 times. Also in the complaint, Richards claimed that he and Welsh were in a relationship. It also says that police found 11 shell casings and a broken door at the apartment.
Your Honor, I did get a copy of the complaint. I have read it. At this time, we would waive its formal reading. I have spoken with Mr. Richards. We'd be waiving the time limits.
Richards' preliminary hearing is set for October 28th. Welsh's family was also in court Friday but did not speak. And if you or someone you know is experiencing domestic violence, help is available right here in Dane County. You can call Domestic Abuse Intervention Services, or DAYS, at its 24-hour helpline at the number you see on your screen. They also have a text line if you don't want to talk over the phone. That number is at the bottom of your screen as well. Wisconsin football is officially back in full swing, hosting their second game of the season at Camp Randall. Sports anchor Andrew Bancher joins us with highlights. Andrew?
Yeah, Jalen, it wasn't pretty all the way throughout, but it was improvement, and it was another win for Wisconsin football. Leading 20-13 midway through the fourth quarter, 4th and goal, and the Badgers go for it. A gutsy call, and it pays off. A touchdown for Ches Malusi, one of his 2 on the day, and it seals the deal on a 27-13 Wisconsin win.
This was one that, to be honest with you, I just knew it was going to be some version of a true battle and a fight. And I think some people just assume, that hey, your guys are going to blow out these first couple games and things are going to roll. But I had a good idea that we were going to be tested and tested in a different way. We got tested in the first week. We got tested again this week. But I'm telling you that these are the things that continue to make us grow. These are the things that get you battle tested.
And the win makes it a 2-0 start for the Badgers with a big game in front of them on Saturday. We'll have much more on Wisconsin football coming up in sports.
All right, sounds good. We'll see you then. One event that happened in Dane County today, the first ever Retro on the River Vintage Market fundraiser along the banks of the Ohio River in downtown Stoughton. This brand new event was put on by the Stoughton Historical Society. It featured sales of baked treats and antiques, plus activities for all ages. One highlight of the event was the Disco Dome Bounce House. It was powered completely by a Tesla Cybertruck, one of the event's sponsors. There were also giant bubbles, food trucks, live music, and historical neighborhood walks and tours available for free of charge. While this was the first year of the event, many attendees our crew spoke with hope to see it return in the future. Now, how does drinking on a ski hill with a troll sound to you? Well, to many, it was a pretty nice way to kick back and relax. The Thirsty Troll Brew Fest kicked off today from noon till 5, offering beer from 30 brewers and over 125 flavors of beer. And something new this year, the location. The event took place about 5 miles from its usual spot at the Tyrol Basin.
There's yard games for the kids to play. The chairlift is running, so the kids can hop on the chairlift and go up around. So we're just trying to make it kind of a more inclusive, family-friendly, different kind of event than it has been.
Although the location was different, it still had the same old backyard brew feel fest that everyone has come to love. This time it was fun for the entire family. The Verona High School cross-country team is about to say farewell to one of its best coaches. Coach Randy Marks has been around the school for a long, long time. Chances are he's met or coached the students' parents and possibly even their grandparents. That's because he's been coaching the cross-country team at Verona High for 60 years. He plans to retire after this season. Coach Marks talks about what he believes makes each athlete special and, of course, his time supporting the school and its pupils.
Watching kids come in and improve and get stronger, more confident, and I think that's a real thing, whether the kid's a fast runner or whether he's a champion runner. If they improve and get better and feel good about themselves, and the sport has succeeded.
The cross-country meet was at 9 this morning behind the high school at Stewart Woods. Although meets in itself are special, the fact that this is his last cross-country team that he'll coach made it that much more meaningful. And good luck, Coach, on the rest of the season. It's almost time for a look at your first one forecast. Meteorologist Blaise Keller has all the details for us after the break.
Women need to pay close attention
to what Eric Hovde says about access to abortion.
Hovde's all in about opposing reproductive rights.
I am totally opposed to abortion.
And he wanted Roe overturned.
Do you think Roe versus Wade should be overturned?
Yes. So Eric Hovde is okay with politicians overruling decisions of doctors like me.
My patients worry about what Hovde will take away next.
A vote for Eric Hovde means we'll lose even more control over our lives.
Women Vote is responsible for the content of this ad.
I'm so happy. I just put this dress on that I haven't worn in over 10 years.
I just this morning made a new hole in my belt, so that was super exciting.
Why are women everywhere choosing Sono Bello, the advanced solution for permanent fat removal?
I saw the results immediately.
It's the best I have felt since I was in my 20s.
My waist is tiny. I'm very, very happy.
I'm nearly 50, y'all, and my abs haven't been this flat since before I've had kids.
For a limited time, take advantage of Sono Bello's best offer of the year. Sono Bello's board-certified surgeons use micro-laser technology to safely target and remove your diet-resistant fat cells for good on your stomach, hips and thighs, back, and so much more.
Check it out, Snatch Waist. Loving the results.
It will change your life. It did for me.
Call 1-888-510-6198 now or go to sonobello.com to claim special pricing.
I'm Tammy Baldwin, and I approve this message.
Eric Hovde insulted Wisconsin seniors.
Almost nobody in a nursing home is in a point to vote.
What a jerk. He attacked those who are overweight.
Fine, you want to do that? Your health care is going to cost more.
How insulting is that?
He called farmers lazy.
Look at the old physical toil. Now you're largely driving around a tractor.
This guy doesn't have a clue.
Eric Hovde has insulted just about everyone.
What's wrong with this guy?
Action! Get up to 60% off list prices on hundreds of items at the huge Labor Day sale at Slumberland Furniture.
Hurry, it's the final days. Just $3.95 to shake up your living room with a fresh new look. Get this power recliner for a steal, and a poster bed in 2 colors, or a super padded, family-friendly reclining sectional. And of course, totally free doorstep shipping with no minimum.
Up to 60% off at the huge Labor Day sale at Slumberland Furniture. Do not miss this one.
I was a Kamala Harris supporter. That changed after an illegal alien murdered my son, running him over, then driving back and forth over Drew's body 3 times. The man who killed my son had been arrested previously, but Kamala Harris let him go. As San Francisco's DA, Kamala was soft on crime. As a senator, she supported releasing criminal aliens back into our neighborhoods. Kamala Harris is dangerous.
Preserve America PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Inflation is affecting everyone's bottom line this election year.
We haven't been making profit. We're just keeping the lights on.
I'm exposing the tough realities local small business owners are facing and what candidates can do to capture their votes. 3 for the People, Tuesday at 10.
You're watching News 3 Now at 10.
One La Crosse, Wisconsin organization is hoping their new initiative will help vulnerable community members and start conversations. Allison Fergit has the details.
If you've recently driven over the Cass or Cameron Street bridges, you might have noticed some new signs. Their goal, to remind people in crisis that there's help.
We just wanted for people to understand that their life is important and there is help.
9 new signs installed on La Crosse's Cameron and Cass Street bridges, all displaying 988, the National Suicide Prevention Hotline.
So we're hoping that with these signs, if someone is contemplating suicide, that this sign will just be maybe a message and will just interrupt that thought process to buy a few seconds for someone to reconsider the position that they're in.
The La Crosse Area Suicide Prevention Initiative funded the signs.
There is a need for suicide prevention in our area, such a taboo topic to talk about, and we are here to say that your life matters.
The group came up with the idea for the signs in 2018, but faced numerous roadblocks. Years later, the idea was brought up again to much better public reception.
The amount of support that we're feeling for this really reflects on a change in the community, in our values, and that mental health is important, and we're talking more about it.
While progress has been made, the initiative says there's still a ways to go. For some of the group's members, the mission hits close to home.
This is very near and dear to my heart. My daughter was 20 years old when she passed away by suicide.
Mar says it's crucial to understand what happened to prevent another death.
There is not enough mental health professionals in the area or anywhere, and if we can find out where the system is breaking down, we can hopefully try to fix it.
And they hope their ongoing efforts not only help those struggling, but open up a broader conversation in the community.
Unless you want to talk about it, we can't fix it. It's not a word you have to be afraid to say. Yes, we have suicides in this community, and if we can stop just one, we feel like we've done something right.
The month of September is National Suicide Prevention Month. If you or a loved one is struggling with thoughts of suicide, you can call 988 to be connected with resources to help. Switching gears now, let's get a look at your first one forecast with meteorologist Blaze Keller. Blaze, what do you have for us?
We're going to continue to remain quiet here as we go through really the next 10 days, except for maybe introducing some rain towards the end of that. It's all conditional, and we'll talk about what that means here in just a moment. But in the more immediate future, staying sunny and dry with those 70s returning tomorrow, and then further we climb into the 80s by Monday. Mid to upper 70s around La Crosse, but I think many of us will probably hang out in the low to mid 70s, partly sunny conditions through the first half of the day, and then we become more sunny as we go into the rest of your Sunday. Tomorrow, of course, Ironman will be taking place in downtown Madison starting at 7 a.m. If you're participating, good luck. If you're going to be out there cheering those participating on, you're going to need that light jacket. Upper 40s to low 50s at 7 a.m., upper 60s to low 70s by noon, topping out in those low to mid 70s by the mid-afternoon. Water temperature, though, not too bad, kind of right around where our air temperature is in those low to mid 70s. High pressure continues to keep us on the quiet side over the next several days. A little bit more cloud cover tomorrow, but then clearer skies as we go into your Monday, 80s returning. Tuesday, back to more partly sunny conditions. We're going to skip out on any rain chances until maybe the end of next week into next weekend. It's conditional as to whether or not a tropical invest, which precedes a tropical depression, which then becomes a tropical storm, which then becomes a hurricane. So this is the very beginnings of what could become our next tropical storm. It's all got to get organized, and let's say it does. This model, the GFS, one of our longer range models, wants to pull what's left of that north into the Great Lakes area. However, if it doesn't become organized, or maybe it just hangs out to our south, we'll still see some cloud cover, and we'll most likely stay in those 80s for much longer. And we obviously wouldn't see any rain if this kind of falls apart. But if we do see what's left of what could maybe become a tropical storm or a tropical depression, this will really be our first rain chance over the next 7 to 10 days. And that, of course, means maybe some cooler air as we go into next weekend. But we typically don't say goodbye to 80s until the end of September, at least in the Madison area towards the end. September 26th is typically when we say goodbye to our 80-degree high temperatures, and then we slip into those 70s as we go into October. So we got a little bit of time left, so these temperatures aren't necessarily unheard of, but certainly not maybe where we should be for technically this time of year. But there is a look at your 7 and your 10-day forecast. Again, if we see that rain chance, the first time we really do see rain will be next Saturday. That continues possibly into next Sunday as well.
All right, sounds good, Blaze. And coming up in sports, Wisconsin football trying to start their season with another W. Andrew has the full coverage next in sports.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
Make your tailgate tail great at Hy-Vee. Fresh ground chuck, $3.98 a pound. Hy-Vee potato chips, just 99 cents. And Coke 6-pack bottles, just $2.98. Save in-store and online, Friday through Sunday at Hy-Vee.
I'm Matt, and I'm a former Trump voter. One of my biggest beefs with Donald Trump is that with him, anybody who doesn't agree with him is a radical, is a lunatic, is a leftist, a Marxist, a communist, somebody out to destroy America. I'm going to vote for Kamala Harris because I don't want to live in a world that's all about hatred and retribution and getting even with your neighbors and getting rid of people who are different from me.
Republican Accountability PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
They've been rocking audiences for decades. It's Foghat. Performing live November 30th at Ho-Chunk Gaming, Wisconsin Dells. I just want to make with special guest, The Empty Pockets. Tickets are on sale now through Ticketmaster. Legendary rock band Foghat. Live in concert November 30th at Ho-Chunk Gaming, Wisconsin Dells. Your odds are better here.
Phones were made to help us connect, yet somehow they've made us less connected. Which is ironic, don't you think? We try to put our phones down, but we need to pick them up to see the menu. We can't watch something without also watching something else.
Ironic.
Ironic. But look, here's a phone company who wants you to use your phone less.
That's ironic.
Yeah, but in a good way. Let's find us again with Us Mode. U.S. Cellular, built for us.
Traffic jam.
Ugh, and I'm already late.
Energy is like a symphony. Every note, every chord, every instrument creates an incredible melody of power and possibility. But that energy needs to be reliable to have the same power, and affordable to keep the melody. At home, on the road, on farms and fleets, and even ports. Propane and renewable propane lower carbon emissions while harnessing the full symphony of energy. Learn more about safe, clean, reliable propane at propane.com.
Kamala Harris cast the tie-breaking vote that created America's inflation.
The vice president votes in the affirmative, and the bill is passed.
Economists said Harris's vote led directly to the higher prices we pay. 22% more for groceries, 50% more for gas. Mortgage costs nearly double. Thanks a lot, Kamala. Trump had our economy humming. He'll do it again.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
COVID-19 cases are on the rise. Get the updated COVID-19 vaccine at Hy-Vee. Schedule online today, or just stop by any Hy-Vee pharmacy. No appointment necessary. Plus, get your flu shot and earn a 20-cent fuel saver. Only at Hy-Vee.
Wisconsin's Week 1 win over Western Michigan did not come without its caveats. After all, they were trailing in the fourth quarter, and that's why this week against South Dakota, they just wanted to come out and assert their dominance right away. And they did just that early on. Their first drive was scripted to perfection. It started by spreading the field out. They didn't have a single play of 20 yards or more last week, and on their second play of the game today, a 32-yard completion, gorgeous throw by Tyler Van Dyke to a streaking Vinny Anthony, and the Badgers were in business because later in the drive, it was Ches Malusi's turn, and look at Ches, back for a 6th season in college, scores one of his 2 touchdowns on the day, putting Wisconsin on the board first. But they weren't done yet. Later in the first quarter, Tyler Van Dyke tricking the defense. TVD's first passing TD as a Badger is a beauty. And despite a second-half push from the Coyotes, the Badgers improved to 2-0 on the year with a 27-13 win. They faced their fair share of adversity to get to 2-0, but as our Zach Hanley reports, they're better off for it.
Another week, another grind-out win for Wisconsin. And this group showed again that when adversity hits, they don't blink.
You know, I think winning football games is difficult. Doesn't matter who you play. And I think, you know, in the fourth quarter, we found ways. And I think that's, you know, huge growth from where we were, you know, a year ago and even the year before that. So, you know, the important thing is not how you start, it's how you finish.
Yes, it's been 2 pretty tight games, and maybe it's not what we've been envisioning, but being able to go out there
and play our best ball in the fourth quarter. I mean, that's just a testament to how we train and how we handle our business.
Priding ourselves on going through hard situations, going through hard stuff. Camp was hard. Winter workouts was hard. Spring ball was hard. Summer workouts was hard. So it's just something that's just carrying on to the games. Like when we get in hard situations, don't bend, don't fold, just keep going.
You can't write the script. Yeah, you'd love to say every week would have been really smooth, and every guy got the amount of runs and touches and plays he had a chance to get. But the best way to grow is to go through adversity.
So that's 2 weeks of different types of tests, both that the Badgers have now passed. But up next is a whole different beast in Alabama, one that, as Hunter Wohler described, as why you come to Wisconsin to play in those games. At Camp Randall Stadium, Zach Hanley, News 3 Sports.
And in bleaker news, in the final minutes of last night's season-opening loss for the Packers, their quarterback Jordan Love twisted his knee and suffered what MRIs confirmed to be an MCL sprain. He will certainly miss some time, but the Packers did avoid catastrophe. He's only expected to miss 3 to 4 weeks. Down to Whitewater, where third-ranked Whitewater, they came out looking good, to no surprise. Ran for 286 yards on the ground, taking care of business at Perkins Stadium, winning it 34-7 is your final. And how about this for an opening statement to start your season? UW-Platteville, a program on the rise just outside of the top 25. They laid 37 points on Lakeland in the first 16 minutes of the game. They go on to win it 65-0 is your final. After losing 3 straight top 6 matchups to open their season, Wisconsin volleyball found the winning column for the first time in their last time out, but got another big test today. Traveling down to Waco to play 23rd ranked Baylor. Early on, Gulje Guchtikin. She gets absolutely hit with a screamer, but she sets up the team star, Sarah Franklin, full speed ahead. It drops in untouched and puts the Wisconsin attack in motion. And then later, the freshman Charlie Furbringer, she puts it on a platter for Carter Booth, who tomahawks it to the floor for the point. Baylor would make this one interesting, taking it all the way to 5 sets, but the Badgers would just barely hold on to win it. 3-2 is your final. Brewers have lost 3 straight, trying to get back to who they really have been. One of baseball's best teams, leading 4-1 in the 4th. Runner on second for Joey Ortiz, who rips one down the line. Plenty of time for the speedster Sal Frelick to score, and the crew add to their lead and go on to snap the streak and win it. 5-2 is your final. We'll be right back.
I was a Kamala Harris supporter. That changed after an illegal alien murdered my son, running him over, then driving back and forth over Drew's body 3 times. The man who killed my son had been arrested previously, but Kamala Harris let him go. As San Francisco's DA, Kamala was soft on crime. As a senator, she supported releasing criminal aliens back into our neighborhoods. Kamala Harris is dangerous.
Preserve America PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Bad sleep.
No, the worst.
You know, there's really no excuse for bad sleep. During the extended Labor Day sale at Denver Mattress. Right now, the more you buy, the more you save. Save $100 on every $1,000 you spend. Take up to $100 off our Doctor's Choice Original lineup and up to $200 off our Doctor's Choice Hybrid lineup. Check out the Summit, just $299.99. Or get 60 months, no interest, and free shipping. Hurry, the extended Labor Day sale at Denver Mattress ends soon.
He told us who he was.
Should abortion be punished? There has to be some form of punishment.
Then he showed us.
For 54 years, they were trying to get Roe v. Wade terminated, and I did it, and I'm proud to have done it.
Now Donald Trump wants to go further with plans to restrict birth control, ban abortion nationwide, even monitor women's pregnancies. We know who Donald Trump is. He'll take control. We'll pay the price.
I'm Kamala Harris, and I approve this message.
For generations, hardworking people have relied on Ford F-Series trucks, making them America's best-selling trucks 47 years straight. Introducing the new 2024 Ford F-150 and Ford Super Duty, the 2024 North American Truck of the Year. This is the next generation of built Ford tough. See your Ford dealer today and celebrate leadership with special offers on Ford F-Series.
Right now with Papa Murphy's, we've got a great deal.
Which means I make more great pizza.
Like our $9.99 XLNY pizza. It's everything you'd expect from a classic New York-style pizza, hot and fresh out of your oven. Order now at papamurphys.com.
Building up the middle class will be a defining goal of my presidency.
She'll do it with new ideas to make middle-class life more affordable. New caps on the price of medicine. New investments in clean energy to bring down costs for families. And while Trump will cut taxes for the super rich, she'll cut taxes for the rest of us. A stronger middle class. A future we can afford. EDF Action Votes and FF PAC are responsible for the content of this advertising.
Experience the Channel 3000 News app today. Enjoy a website-like layout and swipe through articles without returning to the home screen. Download the Channel 3000 News app, powered by News 3 Now.
Monday helped us pack the truck to kick off Codes for Kids.
So Andrew, Badgers 2-0 for football. Open up next week against Bama. Is this the most excited you've been for a UW Badger football game?
It's got to be up there. I mean, this is one that fans have been looking at on the schedule like years in advance. This is going to be one of the biggest ones we've seen in a long time. So I would say yes.
Hopefully the weather's looking pretty good, but it's looking good right now.
Next weekend?
Next Saturday.
We'll see. Okay. Well, then we don't want the rain.
Okay, good.
We're not going to see any rain up until that point, but that is when we could start to see some rain. It's all conditional, though, so enjoy the quiet and slow climb into the 80s.
All right, sounds good. We'll see you all here tomorrow.